Today's workshop is dedicated to one project called EdTech Talents. And this is a project funded by European Commission. And the aim of the project is to bridge the gap between academic people and industry people. Of course, it's impossible, but that's the reason why European Commission gave us this money, because we promised that at least we try. And if you don't know what is the issue of having this gap or why is it a problem, is that researchers tend to do research they are interested in, and their work is evaluated based on their academic key performance indicators. But on the other hand, there is an industry who would benefit from the latest research results, especially if we talk educational technology sector or education. So what we do in this project, 27 researchers from 6 countries, Estonia, Hungary, Serbia as widening countries, countries who have to learn from advanced countries, and Germany, Spain and Austria, advanced countries who give their knowledge to us. What we do? We train researchers like I and Kristjan to become useful to the society. And how is it possible? The methodology the project depicts is that I and Kristjan, as a researcher, we have a huge knowledge somewhere here, yes, but we don't know how to take it out. So we are seconded to advanced countries, like we were in Spain in August, and then we start creating our knowledge service. So knowledge service is an artifact, or the mediating thing or something tangible, where we put all our knowledge from here, and then it's an industry, and industry can take this service, and then they would benefit. And how it looks like in education, it's quite simple. So basically, at least in Estonia, there are over 50 EdTech companies, and they are mostly startups, spin-offs, or small companies. They don't have money to have their own research department. So that's all. If you want to understand what is the bridge is research and innovation. So every industry should have the research and innovation department, but small EdTech companies just don't have. And university researchers could offer these services. And what would happen to one EdTech company if it doesn't have this department? Actually, they fail. They fail when they try to sell to the EdTech market. They fail when they try to sell to schools, kindergarten, universities for workplace learning, because they don't know rules and they don't know the methodologies and logic. And on the other hand, EdTech companies are unhappy because they have developed so great product, but no one will buy it. So that's the logic. Okay. And now let's come back to our case. So what are our services? So my knowledge service is not directed directly to EdTech companies, but it's directed to the very foundation. And my knowledge service, actually that's ready. I have published the paper. Now I'm going to publish the guidelines. So just write to me and I will tell you more. And also, I don't know whether I send you 1,000 roses or something if you would like to implement my knowledge service for free. In the project, we can implement it for free. So what is my knowledge service? My knowledge service is a process getting professional profiles out from the researchers. Because when you would imagine that somebody would like to buy a knowledge service from me, yes? So it means that they should know that I'm capable of doing it. And currently, I as a researcher, I have my scientific profile in national research system. I have my profile at my university system, and if I clever enough, I have also LinkedIn profile. And it is recorded. As it's recording, I don't say that usually LinkedIn profile of researcher sucks. It looks bad, yes. And why it looks bad? It's because we just mentioned that I'm a professor. And then I'm more professor, and then I'm more professor, but I don't mention what skills do I have. Whether I have like project managing skills, or whether I have maybe budgeting skills, whether I have project writing skills. So that's something currently researchers' profiles miss. And my assumption is that if the researcher will do a nice offer to society, to EdTech industry, using words the EdTech industry understands, then these EdTech industry people will be ready to start negotiations at all. And before giving word to Kristjan, who has totally different knowledge service and totally different, what is actually the secret of these relations? Because most likely you understand that EdTech companies won't start buying these services from university because they don't have money. They don't have money to have a research department. Why they should have money to buy these services? Quite simple. Currently, all innovation actions need some support from local government or from European Commission. And in case we could collaborate and submit interdisciplinary proposals to these institutions, both researchers would get money, both startup companies would get money, and in the end of the day, our digital Europe agenda would progress to the point they would need to be. But now I will give the floor to Kristjan, and Kristjan has a totally different service, but still, please point down how we have started taking knowledge out from Kristjan. Kristjan has never given any knowledge out to the society, and now these Kristjan first steps. Kristjan, please.
Good morning. So my area of research and what I do in the universities is legal psychology, and one part of it is how to ask those questions that provide accurate answers. And how I have spread my knowledge currently is to do trainings to law enforcement, how to interview victims' witnesses. And when Janika asked me to join the project, then I had thought of what could be the EdTech component in it, and this is what I've been working for. Because when we look at how things are in my field, then it is known that usually people ask questions that are not very productive. And this is not only in investigative interviewing, you can see it in the news sometimes, that a very closed question is asked, and then the answer is yes. And the interviewer is frustrated because we need to fill the air, but the interviewee does not elaborate more. And therefore, what I have been searching scientifically is to involve serious games to this type of training. So serious games will be very realistic, and also they provide immediate feedback, because currently when the interviewers do the job, then they think they are doing well, but they won't get any feedback. And in criminal justice system, they maybe get feedback from the court verdict, which is 2 years after, and in good cases they are related to the interviewer quality, but in some cases it's up to the how law plays out. So it's difficult, and therefore what I thought that would benefit especially the learners is to create something additional, like a board game or website solution. because from human learning, we know that we have to learn different ways. So if you learn only one way, then you're getting good in the same way. So meaning that when we interview for example, avatars to get better, the question is always, will it be implemented also to humans? So you will get very good avatar interviewer, but if this is not transferred to humans, then it's it's a very little use. And therefore, what in this project, what I've developed is currently a prototype of a board game. So investigative interviewing board game. And we are searching now solutions to make it web-based as well. With the working title, find out what happened. So meaning that the learner is in the position of an investigator, and as a group, the group of investigators have to ask questions from victim and find out what happened, meaning that the victim would tell us very accurately what has happened, because it's not so important to get very long answers, because the wrong answers can be also inaccurate, but to get accurate answers. And therefore, enough of talking, so we can do the practical exercise now. I have the demonstration with me, and we do now the practical part. So the practical part is as follows. So we have a call to the police that this kind of event has happened. Yeah. So this is what usually is reported to the police, that please come out and start deal with. So this read it aloud. So the case is a security guard, our victim, reported that 2 persons left a store without paying for a large toy, and he was punched in the face. So this is the crime report. Comes from the actual court crime. So meaning that Estonia is a very lucky position. Our court verdict database is public, so most cases are public, and we can see what crimes actually happen. So not deducting that sometimes will what the facts are, and this is what happened, and now we do it in a way that you can all stand up, and we'll have one question card. So come in here. So as we are in group, then I will spread the question cards. Okay.
I'm not playing it anymore. I have played it in Spain like 100 times.
Already?
And
Yep.
I created these covers with Tallinn and artificial intelligence. We had a fight with artificial intelligence. It was the best cover I could get out from Tallinn after 3 hours fight.
So everyone has a card now. So this is the topic you can ask. There are different topics. You can show the covers to others as well. So there are seven topics about the time, the location, the assault, what happened, the activities. So these are the things police officer has to ask, because if the interview is done in a poor manner, then there is no evidence to take to the court. And prosecutor can say that, well, it's very nice, but what we do with the information, it was a nice weather outside. So we cannot go to court with this information. And now, as you have one card, so you can ask one question from the topic, and now find yourself partners based on the cards. So time cards, victim cards, most are pairs of 2 persons. Activities cards are a bit location, yeah. You're alone. You are alone, yes. Then you are alone. Object? Victim. Okay. Some persons may have been alone, yes. And what I do now is that I have a pack of cards with questions. Yeah. So meaning that each one of you, you can select the questions are a group, and each one of you can pick one question. So this is my question I want to ask from the victim. Yeah. There are more questions, but each one of you can ask only one question. So browse the questions and see what question do you want to ask. I will distribute the cards. Yeah. Victim oli teile tuli suspect. Location oli kus? Object.
See on põhimõtteliselt sama,
aga see
on 2 korda see. See mõtleb, et see on praegu parem.
Ja activities. More cards. You can see the cards. So you can read. Yeah.
Me peame ühe küsimuse 2 peale.
Ei, kumbki üks.
Kumbki üks. Siis ma arvan, et praegu meie on kõige parem.
Kristjan, to be honest, I have never heard what happened in real life when playing your game. Could you open it today?
So each one of you can select one question, not one question per group. Each one of you can select one question.
You have no idea if you are doing well, but it will be discovered, but only in the last phase. So you have to stay nervous. You don't know whether you are a good investigator or not. It just takes some time. I think that now you realize why Kristjan wants to create digital game, because sharing these answers and everything takes just some time.
Okay, now form a circle again, full circle. You have all your question, your answer. And I go around with the microphone, and each one of you can read out the category, the question, and the answer. And then we will check what is the accuracy of the answers. Okay? So let's start.
Okay. So category suspect. And the first question I would ask, or we would ask, is tell me about the suspect or suspects. And then the answer? You didn't give us any answers. No answers. That would have made it 25.
Okay. That would have made it even better.
Yeah, we were saying that the second question would then depend on the answer for the first one. Okay, so the answer would be the offenders were both men. Okay, and then we would ask there was a question about describe one of them, or describe the person who assaulted you.
You cannot choose only one. You cannot choose.
We will take this one. Yeah. Okay. Then we describe the person who assaulted you.
Okay.
And then
the answer is?
The answer would be the one who hit me was wearing a gray hoodie and holding a stuffed animal. So now you know.
Animal was
Very important.
what's stolen? Okay, very interesting.
So our category is victim, and the question is, what else can you say about yourself? And the answer is nothing relevant at the moment.
And the other question was, how long have you been working there? And the answer is more than 5 years.
The category is assault. The question is, what were you doing when he hit you? And the answer is, the stuffed animal was on the ground when he punched me.
My category is location, and the question is, tell me where it happened, and the answer is, it happened at the strawberry store.
Okay, my category was object. Question was, did he stole a valuable item? And the answer is, the stuffed animal was a polar bear.
Okay, so we had these activities, and first question, tell me how it all started. And the answer, my partner said that several people were moving toward the main entrance with merchandise they hadn't paid for. Exciting turn.
Also category is activities. The question is, you used force against the offender. And the answer is, I tried to grab him. He drew the stuffed animal down.
Okay, and I will continue with activities, and the question is, what happened next? And the answer is, I don't remember well. It all happened so fast.
Activities. Who called the police? You or your colleague? And answer, I called the police.
Also activities, and the question was, tell me what happened next. And the answer is, I did not see them at first because they were not passing by the cashiers.
Also activities. The question is, did you saw the theft yourself? And the answer is, I was at my position near the cashier when I got the message from another security guard.
I have time. So, do you recall when it exactly this happened? It happened yesterday.
And also time. What time did it happen? It happened on December 17th.
Okay. So now you have heard the answers. Yes, you have some picture in your mind, like what may have happened, and now it's the time to integrate your mobile phones. So please scan the QR code, and then you will have the answer about accuracy, and the answer can be threefold. So either correct with specific information, just correct, or incorrect. So you can sit down. You can sit down, and we go through the group again.
But Kristjan, can you explain what is the difference between correct and like more correct?
So correct and correct with specific information. The difference is that with specific information, you will have the part of answer that is relevant to the court system, meaning that it has reference to time, location, what happened, etc. Just correct information is not incorrect, but we can do less with it in the court system. So it's something that is true also, but not in a way that would be the best type of information you asked. So let's go through the group starting from the back row. So what was your?
Give the microphone.
Oh.
Okay.
So it was activities category. The question was, tell me what happened. Answer was, I did not see them at first because they were not passing by the cashiers. And feedback was correct.
You will getting points. Not 10 points yet.
So read the answer again, and then what was the feedback? Yeah.
Okay, the category is location, and the answer was it happened at the strawberry store, and it's correct.
It's correct. Yeah. Over here.
The answer was more than 5 years. Category was victim, and the answer to the question is correct. The answer was it happened yesterday, and it was correct.
It was correct. Okay, thank you.
The team is activities. The answer was, did you saw the theft yourself? And the answer was, I was at my position near the cashier when I got the message from another security guard, and the answer is correct.
The category was victim, and the answer was nothing relevant at the moment, and the answer was correct.
The category was activities, and the answer was I tried to grab him. He drew the stuffed animal down, and I'm the first one whose answer is incorrect.
But incorrect, did you have the explanation as well why it's incorrect? Because
you asked a suggestive question indicating a problem answer.
Okay, so that's the suggestive question. Mm-hmm. Yeah, thank you.
The category was assault. The answer was the stuffed animal was on the ground when he punched me, and the answer is incorrect.
Okay.
Also.
The category was activities, and the question was what happens next, and answer was I don't remember well. It all happened so fast, and it was correct.
Category was activities, and answer was my partner said that several people were moving toward the main entrance with the merchandise they hadn't paid for, and the answer was correct.
And category was object. Did he stole a valuable item? answer was the stuffed animal was a polar bear, and it was incorrect.
The category was time. It happened on December 17, and it was like a good open question and correct.
And last one, activities. Who called the police, your or your colleague? And answer was I called the police, and it was correct.
So the question was, tell me about the suspect or suspects. The answer was they were offenders were both men, and it was a good free recall question. The answer to the question is correct and contains specific information. And then the second question we asked was, describe the person who assaulted you. And the answer was, the one who hit me was wearing a gray hoodie and holding a stuffed animal. And we got the same response, that good free recall question. The answer is correct and contains specific information.
Okay, thank you. How many of you are law graduates? One, okay. That's a good result from the group. So when we calculate the points are calculated in a way that if you have the correct answer, then it's 0 points. If you have correct with specific information, then it's +1. If you have incorrect, then it's -1. And your results as a group, if you were playing against other teams, is -1. So on the minus side, but most of the questions were open, and you got the correct answer. So what is missing here is maybe the way how investigator thinks, meaning that I have to know what the evidence has to be to ask these type of questions. But
can you bring examples of good questions, questions and answers?
So good question is the best type of question is free recall. So meaning that tell me with your own words what happened, or to ask open questions starting with who, what, where, how. And most difficult questions are the closed questions. Did it happen? Fourth choice question, did he hit once or twice? And also suggestive question indicating that you know something. And in the police work, this is most difficult because the investigators may know more than the victim or the suspect has said. So it's the matter of controlling yourself, not to disclose what you know. And so this would be one type of activities I can do with my students and also with police officers, because you can choose from pre-written questions, but then you will have the feedback about the question type and also the answer accuracy as well. So we have some time for your feedback, how it felt, because some of you got really excited that if this question is asked, I want to ask this question.
Yes, yeah. But maybe I just steal. It doesn't sound great now, the word stealing, teddy bears and
not
minutes
anymore,
and everything. Not anymore. I would just like to open up the iterative process, how we designed this game with Kristjan from the scratch. We were there 1 month, and we were supported by interdisciplinary researchers, EdTech company representatives, and it is just the first phase of 3 phases. So in January, Kristjan will go back. He will meet with more board game designers and so on. So this is a process. The project gives 3 months before the final product is ready. If you still want to play this game further, maybe you're not satisfied with your score, you can write directly to me. There will be international event of this project in November, and on November 21st there will be open panel with the exhibition where you can see all these types of knowledge services under development. It's in English language in Tallinn in Mektori. So it's not so open event, but if you just write to me an email, I will invite you and you can participate. But most likely we don't share the cards then, but the cards will be ready, both the digital game will be ready in 1 year. So when we gather here again after 1 year, you will get a gift box. But how it looked like, actually, we had these meetings and then first time Kristjan came with, some not understandable white stripes of paper. He shared these papers with everyone, and then he was noticing 1, 0. So we didn't understand at all. First, it was extremely boring, and secondly, we were suspicious, and then we understood what the game all is about. And our first suggestion was, maybe you can create a cards. And maybe you can remove this complicated, secret part. Actually, Kristjan can tell about the secret part either, how to make the game more difficult. And then we just progressed. We invited people to play it. And then one person suggested that it's not about winning and losing, it's a collaborative. Then another person suggested, okay, that should be a scoring, how to score. So basically, every person who participated in this design added a layer. And my contribution was these ugly covers, yes. But the game will be redesigned, and then we will get professional design. And also, what happened with Kristjan? Beside that as a researcher, when you are seconded for a long time, you go outside more. We get 30,000 steps per day. Now I'm told reach to the 10,000 and so on. Yes. So what happened is that we got a different perspective. So maybe the one reason why you should send researcher away is when we are here at our university dealing with our teaching and other stuff, we are not as creative as it's needed to create some useful knowledge transfer stuff for others. But Kristjan, back to you, and let's ask about feedback, please.
Yeah, and one thing maybe just to comment the answer accuracy is that the answer accuracy comes from scientific research. So it's not that I decide that I want some answers to be incorrect for you to be frustrated, but the accuracy comes from research, and the research also shows that if you ask a recommended question, then the accuracy is higher, never 100%, so a bit lower. And when you ask a question that is not recommended, then also people answer it accurately. So it didn't happen, none of the answers in your group, but in some previous group this has happened, and this is very frustrating for the player. I asked the right question, but the answer is incorrect. How? So it's like...
it was the first time story I told that Kristjan had these 1 and 0s, and no, it was this, fate or statistical probability.
Statistical probability, so meaning that you can do things correctly, but things still happen. So people not are lying, but they are just inaccurate in the recall, because most of the things they remember, some of the things they don't remember, and some of the things they can answer. I already said that, and you have to think yourself what.
We have 3 minutes now.
Okay.
So questions. We did great not to take questions.
Do you have the game in Estonian as well?
Not yet, but but we could create, because with generative language model you can do a lot of things quickly. Yes.
Useful for the bachelor students, for example, preparing their interviewing or open questions for them.
Become our first or second client, and Kristjan will do everything for you, even in Estonian. So, but yeah. Thanks.
It's a very good idea.
Mm-hmm.
And in Finnish language too, yes.
Yeah.
So, more questions?
Questions or comments, yeah.
Or comments also. Yeah.
what do you think? Is it possible to reduce the gap between industry and researchers based on our 40 minutes something?
I think it's okay. Thanks. I think it's a good way to make people who are not in a university or academic world all the time understand what the academics are saying in a more tangible way. Let's put it like that, maybe. Because with this game, I think it's interesting for sure. And I think something similar could be useful not only for this topic, but in general also, like when you're interviewing people as a recruiter, for example, also knowing how to ask the questions to actually get answers you can use, not just yes, no, or like minimal answers is going to be important for sure. So very relevant for multiple fields.
Yeah, because now the answers is based on the research in investigative psychology, but yeah, it's for the HR sector. I think it's important, because if you ask too broad question, and this happens in here also, tell me about yourself. Yeah. Then some people go blank, like where do I start? I have been interested in psychology since birth. So this is obviously not a question.
Kristjan, actually, I got a new boss at one workplace, and it was precisely the question she asked me. Tell me about yourself, and I got blank.
Like,
how can I tell? I'm a professor. How can I tell about my scientific stuff?
So this means by the question side that tell me plus some specific topic.
How to build like the process, or how to go about it, how to ask like more like explanative questions, I guess. So definitely very nice experience.
Do you like to work? Yes. Okay.
Okay.
So
to close it up, the next step is just contact us, and now you have 2 potential knowledge services to consume for free.
Then I can collect them because it's my only copy.